Hello and welcome back to Tower of Hats Culinary. Today we are going to be making a very easy weekday meal of salmon with garlic bread and roasted asparagus. The whole process start to finish should take less than 30 minutes. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is turn on your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. In this recipe you're going to need asparagus, some type of oil. I use olive oil. Panko breadcrumbs is what I use. Some Italian seasoning. Some kind of mustard. I use whole grain mustard. Salmon. Try and get the best salmon that you can. You can use frozen. However, it tends to dry out really quickly. And sometimes it can taste a little bit fishy. A loaf of French bread. And I am using a homemade garlic butter. However, you can use the frozen garlic bread or buy pre-made garlic butter. I will make another video or a short later just showing how easy the garlic butter is to make. It's just a few ingredients: butter, Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese, paprika, and some garlic salt. Oh, and garlic. All right, starting off, we're going to be taking our asparagus. Get those rubber bands out of here. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut the ends off. If you can leave them on if you want. I find that they taste really woody, almost like branches that you would get off of a tree. Next, you're going to take a sheet pan and just lay them as flat as you can on the sheet tray. When we say this recipe is very simple, I'm not kidding. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil, drizzle it over the top. You're going to add some salt and pepper. You can be generous with both, especially the salt. And some pepper. You're just going to mix it all up together. Make sure every little bit of it has some oil, salt, and pepper on it. Super easy. And you're going to pop that right in the oven. I personally like to put the asparagus in first, as it can take a little longer depending on how thick they are. But next up, we're going to get our bread started. We're going to start off with our French loaf. I'm going to cut a few pieces about an inch thick. I like to do two per person who's eating. I'll set the rest aside. I'm going to take our homemade garlic butter. I'm going to very generously butter both sides. And we're going to put that in the oven. We're going to set a timer for about 5 minutes for the bread. All right, next up we're going to take our salmon. Slap that right down there. We're going to be cutting, I like to do about 3 fingers worth. Make a little cut all the way through. There's your one. And then with this one, we're just going to cut it right in half. Just like that. 1, 2, and 3. From here, we are going to get a pan on, let's say, medium-high heat. Let that get nice and hot. While that's going, we're going to take our mustard. Like I said, I like to use the stone ground mustard, but you can use yellow mustard, you can use honey Dijon, you can use any kind of mustard that you want. And just make sure you cover the tops. From here, we have our panko breadcrumbs. We're going to mix in, if it's not done already, we're going to mix in some Italian seasoning into that. Get it all mixed up. You're just going to sprinkle this all over the top. And then you're going to press down just lightly to make sure that all of it is sticking on there. I should have specified in the beginning, make sure that you have a pan that you can put into an oven. Most pans can, but I would still double check. If you're not exactly sure, you can always look up the pan that you have, whatever the company is, and see what the rating is. Most pans are rated up to, I believe, 450 degrees, but just double check before you ruin a pan. And then from there, I'm also going to add, I'm personally using a garlic infused olive oil. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil at the top. It's going to help crisp up that panko without burning. And that's all the prep for the salmon. Now that the pan's nice and hot, we're going to add some olive oil. So from here, we're going to very carefully lay our salmon in our pan. And you're going to want to put the piece of salmon closest to you in the pan first, and then lay it away from you. That's going to prevent a lot of the oil from splashing onto you. There we go. I'm going to move that over. You are going to let that cook for about 30 seconds to a minute. You're going to get the bottom really nice and crispy. So you should be able to see. Come on. Be able to see the very bottom start to turn cooked. So now we're just going to go ahead and stick this entire thing in the oven for about 10 minutes. And as you can see, asparagus is roasting nicely. We just put the salmon in, so I'm going to take out the garlic bread, flip it, and put it back in for another 5 minutes or so. All right, first thing out is our garlic. And just like that, we have a very simple, less than 30-minute weeknight meal. Nice cooked salmon on the side. I love all those garlicky bits, as well as the Italian seasoning. Today we are going to make a very easy midweek. Hello and welcome back to Tower of Hats Culinary. Today we're going to be making